There are some things in life, unless we experience, we will never understand them. For instance, if you're not a football fan, every time you walk into a room, like I used to be a long time ago, you will walk into a room and find people watching football or discussing football, and you would wonder, what's the big deal? Oh, Arsenal lost. Oh, Manchester City lost. Oh, Man United did this. Oh, which player has been transferred. Oh, Mo Salah has shaved his hair. And for me, it wasn't a big deal because I just wasn't interested in football. But nowadays, I am such a huge fan of Liverpool. I think I know almost everything there needs to be known about football. And our conversation today is going to be something similar to that kind of situation. What I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of minutes, if you've never experienced it, it will not make sense to you. And it's fine. It is okay. What I'm going to do is ask you at the end of this video, do your own research and find out a little bit of what I'm going to say, or rather a little bit of what I will have said in this video. In my last video, I was talking about friendship, and to some extent I even spoke about family. And what was the conversation about? Well, if you haven't watched that video, get on over into my YouTube channel and just check it out. But I will give you a recap. I was talking about how our friends and family, or both, affect our daily lives, or rather affect even our existence as human beings. I was talking about genuine friends, genuine family members, and just the whole interaction between human beings. And one thing I mentioned in that particular video was about our spiritual life. Now, again, I'm gonna repeat this. If you're an individual who's never experienced your spirituality, you probably don't go to church, you probably don't go to a mosque, you probably don't go to a temple, you probably don't even read the Bible, you don't read the Quran, you don't read the Bhagavad Gita, this conversation might just be one of those conversations you say, yeah, Mbuvi's just making a video, probably looking for views. And you're right, I am definitely looking for views. However, I'm also telling you that this is my experience. Okay? Now, when it comes to matters spirituality, human beings, humankind, from our very inception, we have been connected to our spirituality. We've always wanted to be connected with or to our Creator. And that is why from a long time ago, our forefathers used to look up into the skies and look for signs of our Creator. They would look at comets, they would look at stars, they would look at the sun, they would look at the moon, and they would make some kind of conclusion in regards to their spirituality. And today, because of religion, imenea, we have all these kinds of religions. Of course, people are more connected with their spirituality. And like I said, if you're not that kind of person, it is okay. All right? Google should be your friend. Go and Google some of these things. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that I am not going to make this about Christianity because I'm a Christian. I'm not going to make this about Catholicism because I'm a Catholic. I'm just going to make it plainly about our spirituality. Okay? There are people who know how to make that connection, who know how to connect themselves to the spiritual realm. All right? And we see them almost every single day. We see priests, we see pastors, we see all these kinds of people. But there are other people who make another kind of connection, and we rarely see them. And if we do not know that they are making these connections every single day. Now, what am I talking about? Kuna the usual waganga, kuna the usual wachawi, and so on and so forth. You've heard of what are they called? These guys, people who do what? People like night runners. You know, we've heard of all these kinds of people. Now, those are the kinds of people I'm saying they have connected themselves with the spiritual realm. And the other thing that you should know is that even some of your friends and some of your relatives have also made that connection. And there are very many reasons why anyone would want to make that connection. For example, why do you go to church if you go to church? Why do you go to the mosque if you go to the mosque? Why do you go to the temple if you're a Hindu or Buddhist or whatever? You go there simply because you want to be connected with your Creator. You want to be connected with your spiritual side. You want to get the blessings of God, for example. You want to ask for prosperity and all that. Okay? Now, there are people, and it's the other kind of people that I'm talking about, who will make that connection wanting the same things, but wanting them through you. You understand? They will want these things through stealing them from you, if I may use that word. Actually, that's the best word. Tapping into you. That's another word we could use. Tapping into your spiritual energy so that they can get these things that they lack from their own side of their spiritualism. Okay? And I'm sure here in Kenya specifically, we've heard of something called kuibiwa nyota. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that word. And if you've not heard it, again, Google should be your friend. Google kuibiwa nyota. All right? And for those who do not understand Kiswahili, stealing someone's star, that shine that they have. Now, one thing, guys, you need to know is that every single person, regardless of who you are, your beliefs, your understanding of the spiritual world, there are some things that you were born with. There are some gifts that you were born with by virtue of your connection with your spiritual side. A lot of us want to say, your soul, your spirit, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say, right? There are some gifts, and these are fundamental gifts that everyone was born with, regardless of who you are. Some people were born with great talent. Yes, you can run, you can draw, you can sing, you can act, you can, ride a bicycle, in competitions, you can drive a car in competitions. You were given talents, for hairdressing, you were given talents for makeup, you were given talents for bodybuilding. Everyone has got a talent. That is one of the shine I was talking about. One of the stars, like we like drawing a star having 5 points, right? So even in this situation, I'm going to talk about the 5-point star. You are given these particular gifts. They are called talents, right? So one of the pointing side of the star, one of the, like your star is 1. So one of the points is pointing to your talent, those gifts. And some of us are even talented in academics. You are gifted with knowledge. When you get into a class, you can understand whatever the teacher or your lecturer is saying, even without taking notes. You understand? Like whenever you're in class, you're in your realm, you're in your kingdom. And these are the guys who will graduate with first class honors, and they'll go on and do their masters, and they'll get a scholarship to do their PhDs, and before you know it, they are these big professors, and they're coming back into the job market, and they're doing amazing things. And these guys are literally the best of the best when it comes to their talent. Okay, so that's another talent. Talent number 2 that you were given is the talent of good health. Not talent, sorry, gifts. One of the other side of the star. All right, now this is point number 2. You were given good health. Everyone on earth was born with good health. And I'm even talking about even the guys who were born with, congenital illnesses. Okay, everyone who is alive today, God intended you. And I'm using God because I'm a Christian. Some of you might refer that as something else. God intended you to have good health. And that is why technology is advancing every single day to treat cancer, diabetes, all those kinds of diseases I'm forgetting right now, the Parkinson's. Every single disease can and will be conquered. All right? If we went back 1,000 years ago, something as small as a cold was a big deal. But nowadays, a cold is nothing. A long time ago, malaria was a big deal. Malaria was killing people left, right, and center. But nowadays, malaria is nothing. Before the doctors, they treat it like this, Gonorrhea, syphilis, all these diseases, even HIV. HIV 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that was a big deal. But nowadays, HIV is nothing. People are living to their fullest potential, regardless of whether they have HIV or not. Because God intended you to have good, great health. The other thing that God intended you to have, or your creator, remember, I'm using God because I'm a Christian. The other thing that God intended you to have, right, is something called wealth. God wanted you to have wealth. Like when we were created, remember the Garden of Eden? Everything was there, and that was wealth. It was there for our picking. You could eat anything. That was the definition of wealth. Yeah, sorry. And even today, we have land. It is in abundance. It is everywhere. We have water, oceans, lakes, rivers. These things are flowing everywhere. Forests, you can literally walk into any forest, get fruits and eat. Vegetables are everywhere. But because we're human beings, we have put what are they called, barriers for our own selves. Now you have to have money to go and buy vegetables. But God intended you to have your veggies anywhere, anytime, anyhow. And that is point number 3, right? God gave you wealth from the very beginning, from your inception. God gave you wealth. Yeah, minerals are everywhere. You can get into the ocean, you will find minerals. You can get into the rivers, you will find minerals. You can get into the forest, you will find minerals. They are there for your taking, and that is a God-given gift, and no one, absolutely no one, can take it away from you. All right, but I will tell you how they're being taken away. The other thing that God intended you to have is leadership and dominion over your own kingdom, over anything and everything that you determine and you choose. Yeah, those are things that God said. Paul Mung'ala movie, you should be dominant. You walk into a room, people will stop and listen to you. You walk into you walk into any vicinity, people should look at you because you have that dominating aura. You have that life with you. When you walk in there, people are just like, wow, did you see that? I know you guys know when someone walks into a room, maybe your boss, and everyone is like, hey, shh. A teacher walks into a class and like, shh, teacher. God intended that for every single one of us. We're 8 billion. God intended that for 8 billion of us. All right. And the other one, I had written it down somewhere, is so we've talked about leadership, we've talked about health, finances. Oh yes, the other one is about your family. God intended for you and me to have family, to have marriage, something that you can call your own. And again, I will refer back to the Garden of Eden. God created Adam and created Eve for Adam, right? Because God had every intention. God had every intention for you to have a companion, someone you can confide in, someone who can give you ideas, someone you can talk to when you're down, someone who can uplift you. God has intended that for every single person. Yeah? But what happens? Sometimes, here now is where I come to how someone can steal your star. There are people who, first of all, by the way, they kill their own stars. How do they kill it? Because they just don't believe in themselves. You just don't give your star that opportunity to shine. You're covering it yourself. You take that kitamba and you cover your star, and you decide, me, I don't want my star to shine. I don't want my star to shine. Yes. And that is how we are killing our own stars. But you can actually decide. When you tap into your spirituality, you can decide that I want my star to shine, and it will shine. You have talents that umekalia. You can draw, but you just decided, me, I want to draw. I'll become a banker. You're a good teacher. You're a great teacher, but you've decided, me, I won't teach. I'll go sell skooma in the soko. It's a good thing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't sell skooma, because people who sell skooma feed us. But I'm trying to tell you that you're covering your own star. So you need to tap into your spirituality and get out there and start using your star, because it is there. Okay? Now, back to the people who are stealing your star. Again, I said, if you're not a football fan, you will walk into a room and you will not even realize that football is happening, because you're just not a fan. Now, there are individuals in your life who are stealing your star. And they can do this in 2 ways. They can either use their own abilities and power to steal your star, because they have captured and they have mastered the dark arts, like we like to call them. And there are people who will use other people to come and steal your star. Now, I mentioned them, waganga, wachawi, whatever you want to call them. you know, and they will go and they say, look, I want Paul Movie star. You know, Movie is a great comedian, he's a great actor, he's a great dancer. I want that star of his because I want to be better than him. And that's how Movie star is stolen. I do not know how they do it because I've never gone to consult one of those guys, but it happens, guys. And they can do it in a very simple way. They can be given instructions. Go bring me his kofia. Go bring me his underwear. You know, they can say, hey, Movie gets, you know, pretty girls. You know, he's always been this guy who's able to, you know, he has good vibe. Anaongeleshanga tu wasichana anaingiza box. How does he do it? Aende kwa mganga ambiwe boss, enda kuleta ngoza ya Movie. Uone kesho marriage ya Movie kusha. You know, it can be something as simple as they can even invite you for a birthday party, for whatever event to their place, lakini wameshapatiwa kitu huko wakuje wakutibu. We call it kutibu, wakuje wakutreat. They come and treat you, they come and, you know, administer this particular thing, and you will go there innocently because, I mean, si umeitwa na best yako. You go to your friend, go have fun at his house, you know, you're there, you're eating, you're partying, yeah, and there's still your star like this. It could be even a chick, could be a guy, comes and tells you, hey, you know me, Mbuvi, I like you. Hey, anakushika shika hivi, before you know it, you fall into that trap. You tap into that honeypot. And the moment you tap into that honeypot, you think you're tapping into that honeypot. Kumbe, they are tapping into your star. Tapping into your pot of talent, tapping into your pot of opportunities, and they take it from you. If you have any questions, and you probably want to understand more about this particular topic, DM me. And I'll see, maybe I'll make another video if you guys are actually interested in this stuff. Yeah, if you want to understand where you have been and where you're headed, because some of you are probably watching this video and thinking, Kai, by the way, do you know I was good at drawing? Do you know when I was in campus I was doing this and this? Kai, by the way, do you know I used to? And then now you're asking, where did that all go? I'm not saying that ilibiwa, but if you think and if you dig deeper, chances are it was taken, and chances are you know who did. If you haven't liked and subscribed to my channel, please guys do, and also follow me on my other social media pages. You can find me at Mung'ala Movie across all of them, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. I'm thinking about opening a TikTok. I just don't know when, but yeah, it's in the pipeline. All right, see you in the next one.